This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen on the managerial accounting cycle. And let's look at this cycle again. Everything in accounting starts with this basic equation: assets equal liabilities plus stockholders' equity. The managerial accounting cycle is determination of unit product cost and selling price. That's the first thing you do. Then you're going to make journal entries and you're going to utilize those journal entries, the data from step one in the journal entries. You're going to post to the ledger. Uh, we have some new accounts: raw materials inventory, work in process inventory, finished goods inventory, and the manufacturing overhead account. We have to prepare a trial balance. We have to prepare financial statements. We have two new statements: the cost of goods manufactured and the cost of goods sold, along with the income statement, statement of retained earnings, balance sheet, and statement of cash flow, and the closing entries. Let's go back and review this unit cost worksheet. And we're looking at the one I have here. And if you would, go ahead and pull up that quiz that we had last time. Go ahead and pull up the quiz that we had last time. And on the quiz today, we're going to do quiz number one, because we have to be able to come up with uh, these items are going to impact as we get ready to make journal entries. So we're going to spend a few minutes today and probably next time also. The first thing you calculate is the raw materials cost. And in the problems that we're looking at, what we're buying is allocated only to one product. And so we're simply multiplying the unit cost times the quantity to get the total cost. It will have more in raw material, more than one. We multiply each one to get the total cost. That's all we're working with now. If we have a situation where the total cost, such as the ink cartridge, is allocated to more than one product, then we would divide total cost by product quantity. So we're just putting that in there, but I'm not worried about that yet. Uh, but A students, you should realize by the end of next week, you've got to include this. But all I'm concerned about now is this first one. The second item is direct labor. For our direct labor, it's the labor rate times productivity. And we said if it takes one or more hours to make the item, you multiply. Or if you can make more than one item in an hour, you divide. So the first cost in getting this unit cost of raw materials, the second one is the direct labor, and the third one is the manufacturing overhead. So there's always three costs: raw materials, direct labor, and the manufacturing overhead, that unit cost. And I gave you a simple way to get the manufacturing overhead. Take the total overhead, divide it by the total quantity to be produced. That will give you the unit cost, and you simply add those items together. If you had a selling price multiple, if you had a selling price multiple, you simply multiply that multiple times the unit cost to get the selling price. So everybody take 5 minutes and work out that first scenario in that quiz, unit cost selling quiz 1. So all I want now is situation 1. All I want is situation 1. So I'll put it up here. But you should have this pulled up. So all I'm concerned now about is situation 1. If this is situation 1, I want you to tell me what's the unit cost. I want you to tell me what is the selling price. And I want you to get to me the POR eventually. But right now, I'm simply concerned about the unit cost and the selling price given this information. Are there any questions? Do we have it done? So let's go through it together. We have raw material, AL1, 3, the unit cost is 20, selling price, the quantity was 3. And so for that first raw material, 3 times 20 is 60. Okay. For the second raw materials, we add 4 at 10. So the unit cost is 10. Quantity is 4. And so we multiply 4 times 10 and we get 40 as the total unit cost. We had a third material that cost $5. It only took one of those. So in this problem, the total raw materials cost is 105. Are there any questions on how we got 105, 60, 40, and 5? Can everybody do that now? Is there anybody who can't do that? Okay. Let's move on to the labor. It says that the labor rate is 20 and we can produce 10 an hour. Are we multiplying or dividing? The labor rate is 20. We can produce 10 an hour. Are we multiplying
Dividing.
or dividing?
Dividing.
Dividing.
We're dividing because we can make more than one in an hour. So we divide 10 into 20, 2. So that's simply the labor rate, 20 divided by the 10 hours. Then for our overhead, we're just going to go the simple route. The total overhead is what? 300,000. And let me just see if I can insert a row below. Okay, so I insert a row below. Total overhead is 300,000. The total quantity to be produced is 100,000. And so 100,000 divided by 300,000 is what? How much is that?
3.
So our total cost, we're going to add up 6, 7, and 9. So what should this total cost be? And you're supposed to have this problem out in your data, whatever you're using to work this. So what should this total cost be?
110.
Well, I was going to be able to do that on the quiz on Tuesday. Is there anybody who won't be able to do that on the quiz on Tuesday? Okay. Now I want you to go and do situation 2. So we got 10 for situation 1. And now I want you to clean the sheet out and do the same thing for situation 2. So I'm giving you 5 minutes to get situation 2 done. Let's go back to the first situation. Karina, what was our total cost in the first one? Karina Mom,
One ten.
what was our total cost in the first situation?
It was 110.
So what was our selling price in that case?
330
How did we get 330?
plus 3 times 3.
Thank you, Tan. So that selling price multiple was 3.
Yeah.
We simply multiplied that to get our cost. So since you're talking, tell us about the second situation. So what's happening in the second situation? You got that one worked out for me? So let's see if we can look at this second situation. What's our raw materials going to be in that second situation?
75.
First raw materials, what? So
74.
here, let's see where we are. So what's raw material 1?
40.
Unit cost is 20. Quantity is what? 2. So the total cost is 40. Raw material 2, we have 2 at 10. And for that third raw material is what? 3 at 5. So what's our total cost?
15.
Now what's the situation on the labor in this situation?
We multiply rate
Oh,
to
well,
product.
this, how much is our total raw material cost?
75.
75.
75.
That's our total raw material cost of 75. Labor, we have a rate of 15, but it takes what?
3 hours.
3 hours. So if you're making $15 an hour when you work 3 hours, how much would you want?
45.
45. Then for the manufacturing overhead, it's going to be what? What's the manufacturing overhead going to be?
5.
How we get 5? Total
5 hours.
manufacturing overhead is 500. Quantity is 100. So it's 5. So what's our total cost in this situation? 75 plus 45 plus 5 is what?
125.
125. What's our selling price multiple?
4.
500.
So what's total selling price going to be?
500.
500. Okay, go on to situation 3, which a lot of people would miss. So y'all go on to situation 3.
बंद है.
Do we have 3 done? Roderick Coffee, you got 3 done?
Not yet. I'm working on it.
All right, we'll take a couple minutes. Shooter, do you have 3 done?
Yes.
No, sir. I'm still working on it too.
Delandra, you got 3 done?
I came in late, so I don't even.
I can't hear you.
I came in late, so which ones is
So you
I'm
got here
done?
late. All right. All right, Jacob, you plan to handle raw materials. Shooter, you handle the labor. And Coffee, you handle the overhead. So I give each one of y'all 1. So Bay has the raw materials. Shooter has the labor. And Coffee has the MOH. And Jameer, you get the selling price for me. Jameer, you get the selling price.
Mr. Boyd,
Yes,
can you tell me why it was 15 times 3 in number 2?
number 2, where
For labor rate and labor production?
if you work 3 hours at $15 an hour, how much money would you want to be paid?
Um,
If you work 3 hours and you were making $15 an hour, how much money would you want to be paid? Would you want $5?
no.
So whenever these hours are greater than 1 or greater, you're going to multiply. In this case, where you can make more than 1 in an hour, you divide.
Well, I thought the same thing, but I think it's because it doesn't say like per hour, and so I thought it was gonna be like $15 for the 3 hours, and not 15 per hour for 3 hours. If that makes sense.
Okay, so the way the problems are written, and this is the rate $15 an hour. So that rate is on a per hour basis, and that's telling you the number of hours. So just look at it that way. You could, but that's fine. That's why we cleared it up now. Jacob, you ready to give me some raw material copies? Well, Usha, you give them to me. He's quiet over there. Tell me about the raw materials, Usha. got the working thing now. So what's some raw materials, Usha?
Mr. Boyd, can you hear me?
I hear you now, Jacob. Go ahead.
Hey, so 40, is that
We're on situation
for
three,
number 3?
and you're doing the raw
Oh,
material cost.
damn it. Yeah. Okay, so is so is the unit cost times the
Right. 10
right for
times
raw
30
materials.
gives you 20. Got
20.
it?
Yeah.
What's our
Yeah.
next one?
The next one is 4 times 10. Or wait. 3
God
times
will
10
put
because we're on 3,
10.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3 times 10, which is 30.
And then
Yeah.
your
And then the
final raw
next one
material is
is
what?
20 times 5. 20, so the unit cost is 20, and then 5 is the quantity, which equals 100.
So what's our total raw material cost?
150.
Okay. All right. So who's it? Shooter, do you have this labor cost?
All right, so I'm under the impression that we divide 1 into 20,
Yep. Or you can
and then
multiply 1 by 20.
oh yeah, yeah, and I got 20.
Okay, that's all you got. That's all it is. A
Sweet.
lot of people had trouble doing that. And that's it, 20. And who has my overhead? Coffee, you got my overhead?
Just 10.
All right, Usha, give me my overhead.
Uh, uh,
Well, I won't even go to POR today. All right. All I had to do is put a million in here and divide it by 100,000. So what's the overhead going to be?
10.
Thank you. So what's the total cost?
180.
Did you have that on your test?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any questions?
No.
All right. We're on stage 2 now, making journal entries. We're on stage 2, making journal entries. And we will review this again one way or the other, PORs and everything else at the start of the period on Tuesday. In stage 1, so what I did with the journal entries was to put them in stages. Stage 1, you acquire the raw materials. Stage 2, you transfer the cost of the work in process where the goods are produced. And then there are going to be journal entries in each stage. Stage 3, we transfer the cost of completed goods from work in process to finished goods. Stage 4, we sell the finished good and transfer costs from finished goods to cost of goods sold. And in stage 5, we pay selling and administrative expenses plus dividends. So those are the 5 stages. Let's go back to stage 1. Stage 1, you buy the raw material. This is the journal entry. You make this journal entry for however many raw materials you have. So that's all you're doing. You debiting raw materials, crediting accounts payable. That journal entry never changes, but you gotta calculate the amount for the amount of raw material. And we will uh, start our company with a type 1 journal entry. We may buy some equipment also uh, in stage 1, but this is, getting ready to work. The main thing in this stage is buying the raw materials. And we'll get back to it, but this information, to your accounts is helpful when we get ready for the cost of goods manufacturer statement. In stage 2, we're making the product. And we've got 3 sets of journal entries. In the first journal entry, we debit work in process and credit raw materials. This is where we are bringing the raw materials from the warehouse to the production floor. When that happens, this journal entry is made. We hire the workers and we pay them to make the item. So we debit work in process and we credit cash. And in our final journal entry, we debit work in process and credit manufacturing overhead for what we estimate the overhead to be. And this is where we use that POR number. So when we make this journal entry, uh,
Excuse me,
we'll
sir.
use the
If you
POR
have the,
number.
excuse me, Mr. Boyd.
Yes.
I can't see your screen. Like if you have the journal, I don't know if you have the journal entries up right now, but I can't see it. Like I still see the quiz.
I don't know why you still see the quiz. Everybody else got that problem? Anybody else got that problem? I'll get rid of it.
Like I'm looking at your calculator in the back. I don't know why it's doing that.
You see, now you got this in course content, by the way. This is in course content in Blackboard.
Okay, what would it be under?
Working job model costing, and it's in the primer, so you can be following along in the primer or in course content. Okay, so these are the journal entries. The bottom two, just one each, but however many raw materials you got, that's the number. That's the first one you're gonna have. So in stage 2, we making the product. In stage 3, we got the product finished and we transferring it to finished goods. That's our goal. Our goal is not to buy raw materials and hire workers. Our goal is to make the product. Then we put it in finished goods. So we debit finished goods and credit work in process inventory. So you see these journal entries are coming with each stage. So we're just developing the background for it. In stage 5, we're going to sell the item either for cash, uh, type 2, on account, type 15. But we also going to make that companion entry for cost of goods sold. So the first entry, we debit account receivable, credit sales, and you use that selling price number that you develop. So in this journal entry, you're using that selling price number. So if your selling price is incorrect, then this journal entry will be incorrect. Then you're debiting cost of goods sold and crediting finished goods. You're debiting. So we're always doing that because we're selling the item. So these are the journal entries in stage 2. Excuse me, stage 5. So going back, We got stage 1 journal entries. Then we got stage 2 journal entries. Then we got stage 3 journal entries, which sometimes at times might cause some problems because we don't finish everything. Then we got stage 4 journal entries. And one of the special entries we have to make, we estimate what the overhead is. When all the costs come in, uh, so we make this entry to estimate it. Then when the actual costs come in, we're going to debit working process and credit manufacturing overhead for the estimated, for the actual cost. These journal entries have to be made when the item is finished being produced. So we have to estimate what the overhead is. When all the overhead finally comes in, uh, we're going to debit manufacturing overhead. So suppose we estimate the overhead was 600,000. It turned out to be 610. Well, we got a $600,000 credit in the account, the actual 610. And so we'll make an adjusting entry to put the other 10,000 in cost of goods sold. So the way the accounts look, we estimated the overhead was 600,000, and we made a journal entry debiting work in process and crediting manufacturing overhead for 600,000. When we actually paid for the overhead and charged depreciation, it was 610,000. So this account has to come to zero. So we just put that extra amount where it should have been in cost of goods sold. So cost of goods sold was 10,000 low. So we debit cost of goods sold and credit manufacturing overhead. If it worked the other way where we didn't charge enough, then we would debit manufacturing overhead and credit cost of goods sold. So either you didn't have enough, you got to increase cost of goods sold, or you had too much, then you got to reduce cost of goods sold. Then we have steps 5, payment of selling, administrative expenses, and dividends. And we reviewed all these journal entries. I don't have many. That's what we reviewed at the start of the course. Here's our chart of accounts, very similar to what we've used before, except we got these raw material accounts, we got cost of goods sold and manufacturing overhead. But most of the other accounts are the same. And we'll get into that next time, but we've got 3 statements to prepare. So the first new statement is the cost of goods manufactured. The purpose of this statement is say, okay, how much did it cost us to make these items? Notice what's on these statements: direct materials, direct labor, and applied manufacturing overhead. That's what it always is. What's the raw materials cost? What's the labor? How much overhead do we estimate for our total manufacturing cost? And beginning to subtract that ending working process to get the cost of goods manufactured. Cost of goods sold, beginning cost. We're going to add the cost of goods manufactured. We're going to subtract the finished goods inventory ending, get an unadjusted cost of goods sold, and then that over or underapplied, we're going to put that on here too to get overhead where it needs to be. So that's what we're going to do, and then we're going to do an income statement. And here we have our job order costing in class example. And each team has been assigned something to work on. Is that correct? Does each team have an assignment? because it's pretty much in the order of your numbers. This is team one. Yeah, team one. Here it is. Okay. So team one, this is yours. Team two, team three, team four, team five. So I break up the journal entries by stages. Team six, team seven. And you start to make those journal entries. Post them to the ledger and prepare a trial balance. Here comes team eight with cost of goods manufactured. Team nine with cost of goods sold. And team 10 with just the income statement. So are there any questions? Now we'll begin next time with these 10 multiple choice questions, kind of short answer questions. In each team, you're responsible for your number. So team one, you got this first one, all the way through team 10, you got the last multiple choice. Whatever. No, they're short answers. So we'll be doing those next time. There's also something that you're going to do. You're going to put this on this Excel spreadsheet. So if you would go and pull up your Excel spreadsheets now. So I need everybody to pull up this Excel spreadsheet, which is in course content on the job order costing. Please pull up this worksheet. Got it, Kiana? Got it, Brooke?
Yeah.
So the first thing on here, team one, is this job order costing worksheet. So you're going to be working on this. There are two of these in here. Just use whichever one you're comfortable with. But this is what I expect you to do and have that ready. And once you get these assumptions ready, you can send it to everybody else. Now let's go to these journal entries.
I'm sorry. Can you explain? I'm confused.
Who's confused?
Me, Jaina. Like,
On the,
go
you're
ahead.
confused? Okay. On this study problem that the whole class is doing, you got the first thing. And we just have it on the Excel spreadsheet. But you got to get for us the estimated unit cost, selling price, and POR from these assumptions.
Okay, so you're saying we're doing that and then just sending it to the rest of the class on Excel sheet?
Yep, on the
Okay.
spreadsheet. And send it to the rest of the class correct, okay?
I'll try.
All right. Okay, so we're going to make our first journal entry. We don't have it here, but this is going to give you an idea of what I expect on the Excel spreadsheet for now. Let's assume we start this company off with 100,000. Everybody should have their Excel spreadsheet, and you should be working with me and make this journal entry. Does everybody have this journal entry made? Debit, cash, credit, common stock. So we're in stage one, and that's just I just got the regular journal entries here. Okay.
Do you already have an Excel spreadsheet made for us, or do we have to make one? Like is it one
The
in course
Excel
content?
spreadsheet
Oh, both
is
of
in
them.
course content already, and you're supposed to have it pulled up. Now, as we more efficiently use Excel, Brooke, I'm gonna go here to my 100,000 and I'm gonna hit Control C. Everybody see that? Everybody hit Control C. Got it? Now let's go to T accounts for posting. And I need to clear all of this out.
I think I'm on the wrong thing because I don't see none of that.
Just go to the second page. It's under the journal entries.
So we made the
Mm,
journal entries and I copied it with a Control C. So what I'm gonna do is to come in here now and I'm gonna do a, let me get it, see if I can get in here. I'm gonna try and do a paste special. Well, let me go down one. It is not acting right on my pasting. Let me go back over here to journal entries. Okay, it just stopped. All right, so I'm going to once again hit, I'm here, I'm gonna hit Control C. I guess it stopped. So I'm trying to copy this and now I'm gonna go to my T account. Hopefully it will stay there this time. I'm gonna right click, go to paste special, and I'm gonna click on paste link. I'm clicking on paste link. So everybody see that. Now let's go back to the journal entries for a second. And let's change this to 200,000. And if we made a mistake, this first journal entry was supposed to be 200,000.
Are you just making up these numbers or are these coming
Just
from
make them up right now.
Oh, okay.
But when I go back to my T account, see the 200,000 is in there. The 200,000 is in there. So all of you should have done a Control C to copy it, and then you should have done a pasted it with the paste link so that when you changed it. Now I'm gonna make one other journal entry. So let's go back to journal entries. I'm gonna buy some equipment for cash. So let's assume I buy $20,000 worth of equipment for cash. I want to paste the cash amount. So now I'm going to hit Control C again. So you should be hitting Control C. We're going to go to the T account. And I'd already put it in there. So, but in your case, you may want to just transpose it to do that. Let me just take it out since it showed up automatically. Let me clear contents. And I'm going to go back to this journal entry again for the cash credit, and I'm going to hit Control C. Then I'm going to go to the T account. I'm going to hit Paste Special. And I'm going to hit Paste the link. And that way it's going to change. Now you're going to need to, on this spreadsheet, go through and clear everything out. Now I'm going to go through and do my auto sum. And then I'm going to get my value here by putting in my equation equal, wait a minute, So we have 180,000. Now, Brooke, I'm going to come to the 180 and I'm going to hit Control C again. Now I'm going to the trial balance. I'm see if I can hit paste link again. Then I'm going to come to my balance sheet. Hit paste link again. So everybody see that?
When I went to my balance sheet, it was already put there for me. That's
Yeah.
supposed to happen? Okay.
Yeah, that will happen uh, because the spreadsheet has some of those already in there. So if you can see if it works for you, you can clear. It's probably best if you just clear contents and do all of this yourself. Is it, it'll change some. But what I'm trying to get you to see now as we work now, you're not going to be journalizing and posting to the ledger and etc. over and over again. As we work problems, you're going to get this set up. And every
Yes,
time
sir.
you make a journal entry, it's going to post it to the ledger. Then it's going to put the trial balance in. And then Joshua Lathan won't say he has to have more time.
Sir, I swear, like your computer still says 200,000 right now. Like I haven't seen no changes. So like, can you
What
just
is
tell me?
everybody else? What is everybody else saying?
Obviously, they seeing it because they not saying nothing. So can you just tell me where the problem is? Because I can figure it out myself, but I don't even see the
I'm
problem.
just
I
making.
don't see.
Okay, I just make. Okay,
I
what
think
I'm
he's
doing is
making
this.
up the numbers.
I'm
There's no
making
problem.
up
He's
numbers.
making
You have a spreadsheet.
Wait, I'm talking about. You remember what you said? Here are the problems for each group. I didn't see that
No, we aren't
spreadsheet.
on that yet. We aren't on that yet.
I still need it though, sir.
Okay. No, what I want you to do is we're making plans so that we will be able to operate much smarter with Excel. So every time we make a journal entry, it's going to go post it to the ledger. You know, assuming it's going to post it to the ledger. It's going to put it on the trial balance, and if it's an asset account, it's going to put the balance on the balance sheet.
Okay.
So every time you make a journal entry, it's going to do all of that for the assets and the liabilities and the common stock, retained earnings, all the permanent accounts.
Okay, that's good.
For the expense account and the revenue, what we're going to have it do? It's going to put it on the trial balance, but what else is it going to do? What's it going to do, Kiana?
Repeat that again.
When we get to the revenues and expenses, Kiana, that's why I gave you such an easy assignment on this problem. You're going to make sure assigning out parts of this worksheet to various people so that when the revenues and expenses hit here, they're going to go to the income statement. When the revenues and expenses hit down here, dividends are going to go to the statement of retained earnings. When you make the journal entry, you see that, Valenciana?
Yes.
So, for my two leaders, Moan and Brooke, you all are to assign out parts of this spreadsheet for this to be done. Various teams can work on it. It's the same, and then you all have to bring that spreadsheet together so that by next Thursday, when everybody turns in that in-class problem is on a spreadsheet like this. So you're working the in-class problem together. You can send things to other people, but you're going to have a spreadsheet like this so that as we move forward in the course, you're not doing the busy work of posting to the ledger and preparing the trial balance. When you make that journal entry, it's already going to be prepared for you. So that's where we're moving. How about that, Miriam?
I mean, I guess I can roll with that if it makes it easier.
I think it might. I don't know. Well, if you want, if if you're desirous of posting everything to the ledger and then put it on the trial balance and keep on moving, you can do that. But you're going to get into assignments, and as you get on to the project, where you're going to have to do multiple years at one time. Everybody in your team is going to have to do a year. So it might help if as people are doing their years, you know, this should cut your time down in half at least. This should cut your time down in half. So we, we want to work with Excel, of course, but we're also trying to get this proficiency that you're going to be expected to have when you go to work. Okay? You're going to be expected to have this proficiency. Now, see, somebody worked on this a little bit last time in the last class, so they have some of this done, and they did this for this reason, so it would be simpler. So the lead work is to set this up. So once you get it set up, then when you do your this problem, you turn it in, you got this spreadsheet working as a team. Then when you take your midterm, you got the spreadsheet working for you personally. Then when you turn in the study problem for this period, you got the spreadsheet working. So all people have to do is pretty much just make journal entries. So we'll look mainly at it. And so we start off looking manually so we know where everything has to go. That's why we do that. But now we're ready to move beyond that. We're ready to move beyond that. So I'm glad you all are so excited today. I'm glad you all are so excited and talkative. Any questions?
Yes. So, in total, basically, we're gonna have the entire spreadsheet done, right?
That's what I expect you all to do. That's you all
Okay,
starting.
and that's due Thursday. So, are we supposed to do that question too?
Your one question.
Yeah.
Your one question is due Tuesday.
Okay. And how we submit that to you? And just
You have to tell it to me.
okay.
So you're responsible for all 10. You just got to, for your credit, you get half credit for turning in the 10 answers, and you get another half credit when you tell me about it in class.
So we have to do all 10.
So I'm just telling you which ones. I'm being nice. I could have just assigned you anyone, but I said I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna call on your team for number one.
Okay, I got you.
Because you only get partial credit when you turn stuff in. You got to talk to me about it in class later for the other half of your credit.
Okay.
So you got 10 multiple choice. That's not, you got a team. So your teams need kind of start working. And if they don't work, uh, given that you kind of see how things are going, And for every member on your team, they're gonna have to, do a comprehensive year. That is, we'll be doing a budget for year 1, 2, 3, 4. And you see that study problem is longer than that. So for however many members on your team, that's however many of those budget years you got to do. So you got to make your team members work. Or you'll be doing a lot of work for them. You had your time to kick them out. So kicking out time is over. And so if you got 4 team members, 4 years worth of budgets have to be done, for you to get an A on that part. So if you're letting your team members slack, you're gonna really be working, and always kind of happen. I want to kick them off my team. Nah, you got to do it now. So if somebody's not working, you need to make a change. You can let me know, I guess, by Thursday. So we'll give everybody a chance to be a team member. So on Thursday, whoever you turn in worked on this class study problem, whoever you turn in that worked on that plus those multiple choice with you, they're on your team. Anybody else, you can kick them off. And they can do all of this work by themselves if they want to stay in the class. So do we understand that?
Okay, just for a quick clarification for it. So for Thursday, we're turning in the stage set for our team and the 10 questions at the end.
No. The 10 questions are due on Tuesday. We got to do something on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we're going to answer the 10 questions, and we're going to start on that. We're going to work the problem in class, this problem too. So on Tuesday, we start off probably for the first half of the class answering those questions. Then for the second half of the class, we're going to start on this problem. So team 1, need to be ready. Team 2 and 3 probably need to be ready at least. So we will work the problem. It's not that we're not going to work it, but I'm not going to put it on the spreadsheet for you. Then I'll be testing that spreadsheet when you send it to me. And you got to, on that first sheet, use about 24 font to put the team members down. So on that first spreadsheet, put your team number and the people who work on it in 24 font, not 8 font. Got it?
Okay, I have another question. So, what do you mean by every team member is the year we need to do? Like, I'm confused.
That's just down the road.
Oh,
So
okay.
right in here, I'm just saying you're going to really be upset with the amount of work you got to do. So I tell you, you got to make your team members work. So put those names in here, team number and the names right in here on this job order worksheet. And then you put your name in the when you save it, put your team number and name of submitting person up here in your save information. Down the road, down the road, you see this problem here that you all have now? Down the road, this is for 1 year. If you got 4 members on your team, 4 years will be required. And each member is supposed to be doing a year. So you make your decision by next Thursday how many years you're gonna be doing. However many members are on your team, that's how many years you got to do. Is there anybody on here who does not have a team? at this point. Any other questions?
After class, we could talk.
Okay.
Yeah, me too, sir. After
You
class.
could go
Okay.
first.
You can go first.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah. All right. Cool.
so we're now getting ready to make a product. So what we're doing here, bottom line is eventually you got to do this on your product. Now for Ken and Brooke, we've got to set a time that we can go over to that lab. Are you all free on next Wednesday?
I
Ken and
have
Brooke?
class.
Say
Yeah, I
what?
have class that ends at 11 a.m. So I'm free like after that.
I'm free after that because I got class at 10 to like 10:50. So
Yeah, same.
All right, so for next Wednesday, we'll schedule it about 11:15 or so to go over and look at that facility. Now, the physics professor who does this, he has a class at on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 also. He's got to instruct the team leaders on how to do this. So we're probably looking at either Wednesday or Friday where he's going to present a session to the team leaders and anybody else who's interested on how that 3D printer works. So we're going to go look at it and then we're going to see how, then he's going to tell us how it works. Then at some point, each team going to have to go over there and make their product. Got it? So that should be an interesting and nice experience. That is, like you say, this was made last time by students physically. And so we're moving now to have a printer that will make that. So we're trying to get you to do new and different things, be much more proficient, make Excel work for you better, uh, increasing your entrepreneurial acumen in terms of how to make an item, and having fun in the process. Okay, so for next time, you've got 10 multiple choice that to do. You just got to answer the one based on your team number when I go through them. But the team is supposed to do all 10 because the team is responsible for all the information. Got it? So the team does 10 short things. Get that to me at the start of class. Then we'll go over that in class, but you all will present. And then we'll start on the in-class problem. So those short things, we just get parts of what's going on because all of this is kind of in parts. So we look at the parts separately. Then the in-class problem, we bring it back together. Then eventually you do one of these by yourself. Each team will do one of these by themselves.
Is it tutoring tomorrow?
What?
Will y'all have tutoring tomorrow?
And
Tutoring?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Hear you now.
Will it be tutoring tomorrow or before this is due?
Can be.
Monday.
It can
Okay.
be. Just email me and let me know.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I
Okay,
just had
so
one question. Maybe I'm just confused. So with the spreadsheet, okay, we're doing the 10 parts and we're sending them to each other as a class. But when it's due, each team is turning in their own separate one.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm just letting y'all work as see I'm letting y'all work together. And y'all don't want to work together. See, you can do the whole thing. Your team can do the whole thing by itself.
No, we don't want to do the whole thing. I was just confused.
Why don't you want to do the whole thing?
It's a lot. So we must not be having a midterm next week.
No, the week after that.
Oh, okay.
You want it next week?
No, I just no.
So we'll be after that. I don't, especially with Tad, we missing things like that. I worry about where we at a certain point, and you all gonna perform and make those A's. Anything else for the good of the cause?
Will you have this lecture on your YouTube by the end of this week?
By the end of the day. Any other questions?
I have a question. So, on Tuesday, I'll be traveling. I'll be able to log into the call, but like I know we have a test. I mean a quiz, so I wouldn't be able to like have access to my computer. And I was wondering if I could take the test early, like Monday night or something along the lines of that.
I'll give a test just for you. I hadn't planned to test anybody else, but I'll just give
No,
you a
no, sir.
test.
You said you was gonna have a quiz on Tuesday. That's what you said. We talked about this.
Uh we'll probably work with the quiz y'all had do. So you just work the next set two.
Okay, no problem.
Work set two.
Last last question. The 10 questions, let's do as a group too, or is it
Yeah,
individual?
that's a group. I just want one set sent in to me.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay. Y'all have a good weekend.
Mr. Boyd,
See y'all on Tuesday.
um, are you gonna be like I know you say you have tutoring tomorrow. Like, what time do you want me to hop on the call?
Tomorrow is Friday. What? Let's see. Tomorrow's Friday.
You want to do it
What
Monday?
about 11 o'clock in the morning?
Okay, that's fine.
Brooke, your baby's expecting to see you.
They're expecting to see me today.
Yeah, since we're online. Is
Oh,
Brooke gonna be there? I said, I don't know.
I'm gonna be there. I already know. I already knew. I already knew. I'll be there.
So
Sir.
you see
So
how
I just need to
Excel,
where's the questions, the worksheet for each group?
is in assignments and in course content. So this handout that all of this was on, that's in course content. The
Okay,
spreadsheet is in course
I
content
seen
under
that.
job order. Then I got it in assignments too.
In class problem. So that's the one that has the 10 questions and the 10 multiple choice questions, right?
Correct. Has all of that.
Oh, okay. All right then. That's all I wanted. I don't know why my computer doing that. Like it's not moving along with you. Like it just I don't know. It like freezes. So I was looking at the 200,000 for the longest. I don't know.
Also,
It's
your
weird.
computer's freezing.
Yeah, it's so weird. But I can hear you. Like right now, I can see you moving and everything. Like everything is good. But when you do the computer sharing, it just starts messing up. I don't know why it does that. But I always figure it out, sir.
So how about now? Do you see this?
No, mine is totally black.
You
I
see
was
it,
wondering
Brooke?
what was going on.
You see it, Brooke? So, most it's in the primer, or I've got it in course content. So you just need to make you some hard copies. I had a primer so you can follow along. But yeah,
Okay.
and then get a new
That,
printer. I mean, get a
I
new
make
computer.
I make some copies. I do got to take my computer, but it's like physically broken. It's not nothing inside the software that's broke.
Well,
I
get
don't
a
know.
new one.
Sir, it's not that easy to just go get a computer. But all right, I'm gonna
Use your
figure it out,
refund.
sir. You
computers
said
don't
get
cost much anymore. But I mean, this is your livelihood now. I mean, you know, this is how you got to
yeah,
learn.
right, but this is a good computer. Like it's a big. It's this computer is huge. It's an HP computer. I don't know
But
why
that's
it's not.
no, it should have been a Mac.
All right, all right. Yeah, we got to end right there. All right,
But
I'm gonna figure
you
it out. So
still,
I'm gonna print out. I'll just print out the stuff.
and you're doing well. You're still doing well. You living up to the standard of being an A student. I can't say that for everybody, but
Oh yes,
I
sir.
appreciate your efforts.
And I'm I'm gonna have to drop two of my group members. Just gonna have to. It's just gonna have to be me and Jacob,
Oh,
because at least Jacob attends class and like he willing to like he hits me up to actually learn and stuff. So yeah.
wow, cold.
Man, sir, I'm not trying
It
to
must,
fail because of
it
them,
must,
because I'm having these technology issues right now that's gonna have me catch up. And it's hard to keep them catched up because they're not willing to, they don't want to learn it. Like I've told them when to hit me up to like study and stuff like that, or if they need help with anything, I've given them the times. They got my number, and there's no communication. So it's like I'm
do
not
what you
trying to
have to do.
do 4 I'm not
Do what
trying to do
you have to
4 years,
do.
sir.
Not gonna be any being upset after next Thursday. Not gonna be any being upset. Brooke, how your
Yeah.
folks doing? You only got three.
Well, I got two. I don't know. The other person doesn't answer, so I don't count the other person. I don't know who that is. I don't associate with the other person. But the two that I do have, they're getting it together. They're good. So they're learning, and I think they're doing a good job. So I'm good with them. Yeah.
Well, you got to do that. You can't just learning is not just sitting in the class and that's the problem some people have. They don't want to do anything outside the classroom. For this
Yeah.
course, you got to work with it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir. I
Okay.
see y'all.
Okay.
All right.
All
All right.
right. Now for me and Kiana, what did you want us to do? That's what I was confused on.
I want you all to take care of making sure this sheet is done.
The whole
The
group.
whole thing, including the statement of cash flow.
Okay, you need to stay all that done.
Yeah, so so you all are preparing an integrated spreadsheet now so that when the journal entries are made, most of the other things are done. So it just has to be set up when the template's done.
And that's the one where we're all individuals, like every team is turning it in, right? We have the 10 steps, and then everybody shares their steps, and then we just make it done.
Yeah. So we're going over it in class, and what I'm
Mm-hmm.
making sure of is that I'm not just going over it, but we're, you know, effectively going over it because everybody has tried to do their part. So
Yeah.
that helps the learning process rather than just sitting and waiting.
Okay. But if we need to, we can just like start on their stuff
Yeah, we can
and
do that.
get it right.
Seems like you missed one of your one of your watching calls on that
What?
quiz. I think you missed one.
Oh, with
Maybe
that quiz, I'm telling you, it was not my day. I don't know. I had like you saw that I clicked off. I had like a mini panic attack and I turned it in late. It was not a
why you
I can vouch for that. It
why
was
you have
sad. I
a
don't know what
panic
happened.
attack
I
and
really don't like
you got
I'm not
virtually
sure.
the
Like
best
it was
you
so
got the best
bad.
grades in the class. You and
It was really like
you and
it
Valenciana
was
were the
really
only ones to I think get the thing perfect on the exam. You better than all these other people. So why are you panicking?
I don't know. Like it just came out of nowhere. I
Came
have
out of
no
nowhere.
idea where it came. I literally was like crying. I really don't know, Professor Boyd. I that day don't know what was going on. I was like, no, forget it. But yeah, I know what happened, and
But
like
yeah, but
I could do it. I know I can do it. I just don't know what happened that day.
okay, well, just realize that you are number one, you have ability. Number two, you work hard. So on that uh, last exam, I think you and Feliciana were the only ones who got it completely right. Even the moans, they missed something. Okay,
Yeah.
so you gotta stop knocking yourself in the head and
Wow.
realize you good.
She knocking me in my head.
No, you're gonna have a great career. So so these things happen, but it's nothing in terms of your ability. Now I did check with Iqbal, and he said you could do you could apply for that scholarship and still do the accounting because the banks hire accountants and they need
Okay.
people. So go ahead and apply for that and get the scholarship.
Okay, I'll do it. I just wanted to make sure first because I know it
Yeah, I
could be
checked with him.
confusing.
I checked with him. No, they
Thank
need
you.
people. They need people. They need
I
good
can
people.
definitely do it.
So go ahead, get that scholarship. I mean, like I said, I think they had 6 or 7 people who did it, and they got this $1 million program. So they're actually looking bad.
Okay. Where do I sign up? I think I have the papers in my folder. I got to give you the paper or just do it online.
Yeah, just do it online and send it to Iqbal.
Okay, I will. Just send it to me.
So you have a
All right.
good weekend, but work on this. This is going to make a big difference down the road. I mean, once you get this done, then when you take the midterm, when you work your study problem, you swing your stuff in.
Yeah, I'm always looking at it. I'm finna, open a primer, see what I'm doing, see what my
Okay.
team doing. Yeah, we'll get it done. And then the girl, I didn't even know she didn't tell me she was about to go on vacation. So that one right there, gonna have to get
Who's
her
that?
together.
Okay. Yeah.
So, Muhammad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think she just said she went one. I think it's just one day, right?
Oh, is it one day? Okay.
I hope it's one day, but
I don't want her missing nothing.
yeah.
All right, Dr. Boy, you have a good weekend. I'll see you
I
on
y'all
Tuesday.
too, and we'll see you on
All right.
Tuesday.